everybody. Weekend update from Path Trading Partners covering FX. This is Bob Iacchino along with Mike Arnold, founders of Path Trading Partners. And before I turn it over to Mike, he's going to give you a pretty thorough outlook on a handful of currency pairs and their technical outlook. Let me just go over the calendar for the upcoming week. Today is Sunday, February 26th. We're recording this on Sunday, and there's really nothing that's going to be released that I'd consider to be of medium to high value. But when you get to Monday, February 27th, there is a couple of things. We start off with U.S. durable goods, 8:30 Eastern Time, expected out at 1.9% increase. Previous was down 0.5%, and the ex-transportation is expected at up 0.5%, and that was the previous as well. It was 0.5%. We've got U.S. pending home sales year over year, but that's not really going to move the needle much. We've got the New Zealand trade balance year to date and month over month. We've got Japanese industrial production. That'll be coming out close to 7 o'clock Eastern Time, just before 7 o'clock Eastern Time. That is expected to have increased by 4.4%, and their retail trade will come out at the same time. That's expected to be up 1%. Then at around 7:01 Eastern Time, you're going to have the GfK Consumer Confidence Survey in the UK. Now, GfK is a publicly traded research company, so it's not a government agency. It's going to be watched, but not as highly as a government release would be. But it will be watched. It will be talked about if it comes out as a surprise to one side or the other. It's expected to be down 6 points. And then later on, closer to midnight Eastern Time, we've got Japan's housing starts year over year, construction orders year over year, and Japan's small business confidence index. The housing starts are supposed to be up 3.3, and the small business confidence index is supposed to come in around 48.5. Tuesday the 28th, we've got French gross domestic product coming out. It's a year-over-year number. It's expected at up 1.1%. We have the U.S. gross domestic product. This is the second estimate of Q4. That's expected to be 2.1% up. Previous was 1.9%. Personal consumption, which is a measure of consumer spending, is supposed to be up 2.5%. That would be unchanged if it came in at expectations. And along with that will be the core personal consumption expenditures number. Those are watched by the Fed as potential indicators of inflation. Same time, you've got advanced goods trade balance. That's expected to be down $66 billion. Wholesale inventories will come out. And then the Case-Shiller Composite 20, which is a home sales index, that's supposed to be up 5.4%. We've also got U.S. consumer confidence. That'll come out at 10 Eastern Time. Expected to be at 111. It was 111.8 last time, so it's expected to be down a little bit. Going into the evening, 6:50 Eastern Time, Japan's capital spending. Australia's gross domestic product quarter over quarter and year over year. The year over year is expected to be up 1.9%. And then we've got some Chinese numbers. Chinese manufacturing PMI, much watched. That's expected to be at 51.2. Last was 51.3. You'll also get the non-manufacturing PMI and the Caixin China PMI, which is a pure manufacturing number as well. Going into Wednesday, that'll be March 1st. Again, pretty big day to day. You've got the German unemployment numbers coming out. The rate's expected to be at 5.9%, and the change is expected to be down 10,000. You've got Italian GDP, which I can't even believe is supposed to be positive, but it is supposed to be up 1%. Got the UK market, PMI manufacturing, net consumer credit, mortgage applications and lending. And then you've got the German CPI month over month and year over year. The year over year number, the important one, expected to be at 2.1% increase versus 1.9% last time. And the month over month, for point of reference, is supposed to be up 0.6. It was down 0.6 last time. All of the Eurozone has positive inflation as of their last numbers releases, and Germany is now giving their current. So there's no way it's going to be negative year over year, but if there's a fall off of that, that could affect the markets quite a bit. Then we've got U.S. personal spending. U.S. consumption expenditures, we've got the deflator in there, which again is an inflation index. That's expected to be 2.0 versus 1.6 last. Again, that's on the increase side. We've got U.S. ISM manufacturing. That's supposed to be at 56. We've got the Bank of Canada rate decision coming out. Those are all 10 o'clock Eastern time. The rate decision is supposed to be unchanged. There will be a statement after that from the Bank of Canada. We've got crude inventories as always, and then you come into 2 o'clock Eastern time, and we've got the beige book, the Fed's beige book. So that'll be just looking for statements. Going into the evening again, same time, 6:50 Eastern time, Japanese monetary base, and then we've got the foreign buying numbers from Japan as well as the trade balance from Australia. That'll be about 7:30 Eastern time. Australian trade balance is supposed to be up to 3.8 billion from 3.5 billion. Going into Thursday, March 2nd, Swiss gross domestic product up 1.3% is the expectation. Get into Eurozone CPI as a whole, year over year expected up 1.9. The core year over year expected up 0.9. Canada's gross domestic product, that'll be at 8:30 Eastern time. Year over year is supposed to be up 1.7%, and month over month up 0.3%. Then you've got jobless claims in the U.S. Get into the evening again. Japan's jobless rates, Japan's household spending, and more important, Japan's National Consumer Price Index year over year is supposed to be 0.4. Now I'm pointing out all these price indices, obviously, because talk about inflation is starting to spring up in the business news again, and we need to see if that pattern is continuing. We've got a bunch of new numbers to lean on. Then we've got China's Caixin PMI Composite and Caixin Services Index, along with Japan's consumer confidence to close out the evening. Then Friday, March 3rd, German retail sales expected at up 0.7. It was down 1.1. We've got Eurozone retail sales expected at 1.5 to the positive side. It was at last at positive 1.1. U.S. ISM non-manufacturing composite, that'll be 10 Eastern time, supposed to be at 56.5. And we've got Fed Vice Chair Fisher speaking in New York. Then we've got the Baker Hughes rig counts. And then near the market close, a couple hours before the market close, Janet Yellen is giving an economic speech in Chicago. That's going to be at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So while it is the first Friday of the month technically, U.S. non-farm payrolls have been pushed off to March 10th, in case you're wondering why. I'm not talking about U.S. non-farm payrolls on the first Friday. They've been pushed back to March 10th. Sometimes that happens when the first Friday of the month comes way too early in the month. That's it for the economic calendar. Let me turn it over to Mike to give you the info on what he's seeing on the charts.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend so far. All right, Euro US dollar on a daily basis. We rallied up on Friday, ran into the declining rotation zone and the significant levels, especially around the 106.20 mark, where the declining 21 exponential came in and reversed quickly lower. You can see we had opened up on a key GAN level and closed around 105.58. We've tested this trend line again, so that's going to be resistance. If we rally on Monday, look for key resistance 106.01, and then followed by 106.20 again, and especially open on Friday around 105.85. Projecting lower key levels that you'll want to watch for if we continue our sell-off from Friday, 105.40, followed by 105.24. Followed by this rising trend line, and then if we sharply were to sell off, we have a defining point right around 104.93. And you can see the projected long-term levels below that should we sell off even more. Just to put it in perspective, on a weekly, we still have the declining rotation zone, and that defining point is this key low from last week, so really watch for a retest of that should we decline. The pound We've triggered this double top with that close last week. We proceeded to rally up. We rallied up sharply on Thursday and then reversed it pretty much the whole thing on Friday. Did not come to our stop levels. Continuing lower, watch for key levels 124.36, followed by 124.18, followed by, if we get below this trend line again and that significant level at 124.18, we have a GAN cluster at 123.46. Then continuing lower from there, we'd move our stop down on this double at 122.81. If we rally again, we've tested this trend line multiple times, so it is pretty key support. So if we rally, watch for, we have a GAN level coming in with a significant level at 125.22, and then another significant level, which we tested on Friday as the high with 125.72. Bob and I spend a lot of time on these significant levels, and you should really watch them because you can see how often the markets react to them. Many times they're drawn in early, and then you can see these key reaction to these points. So we're not just drawing them after the markets reacted. A lot of times they're very predictive. So watch for those. The Japanese yen, we continued lower on Friday, hit our target 111.93. If we continue our sell-off on Monday, zoom in a bit on this. If we continue our sell-off on Monday, watch for the 111.64 area, which is very key and has a lot of significance. Moving down further than that, the next level is not till 110.92, and then we have another GAN level and another significant level target at 110.63. Should we rally, we're starting to get the flattening rotation zone starting to spread out, so that's going to start being resistance. Watch for 112.47, 112.74, and then followed by 113.36. Those are all resistance, and we have this declining trend line. Just jump out to the weekly real quick. On the weekly basis, we have a longer-term trend line in there, and we're still hanging above this 21, which has so far been pretty good support. So watch for a close below that around the 111.90. If we get a key close below that and then the close below 111.64, the yen then should head lower in the short term. Those are the levels that I will be watching. Swissy, still in the channel, this defined channel, which also lines up with a properly drawn path trading trend line. So that is pretty key support. If we are to close below this trend line, watch for a test of 100.10, followed by 99.70 and this other rising trend line. And there's a 99.82 level also in there. Should we continue to rally up and follow through on Fridays, catching on this minimally impactful rotation zone, watch for 101.02, followed by 101.17 to 20 level. Then you have the upper channel line and the declining trend line coming into play right there. Aussie, Friday we went up to around the 77.20 resistance level, which was a possible target to the upside, and reversed sharply lower, closing smack dab on our key GAN level of 76.67. Support on Monday, should it be lower, rising 21 and this trend line. Very key area right around the 76.50 mark, so watch for that. Below that, if the sell-off continues, we have 76.38 and 76.18 as the next levels lower for targets. Should we turn around and rally back up? Watch for the closing area on Friday, which was 77.11, followed by 77.20. So 77, really 10 through 20 is going to be a key target to the upside. And then if you break through that, you're going to watch for the area up around 77.40 as another target and resistance higher. Finally, the CAD. We're still caught in this really sloppy range. Should we move higher on Monday? Key levels 131.26, followed by 131.63, followed by 132.05. Support down around 130.47. Then we have this rising trend line below that. So you're going to watch around 130.34. Then below that, we have a key defining point of 130.09, 130.09, followed by a significant level 129.80. No other real patterns. If we do get above this upper defining point at 132.09, we go into a clear path move where you'll want to target 132.83, followed by 133.21. But we're a fair amount away from that, so we'll probably update all this before that happens. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Mike. If you're enjoying these videos, please hit the little red subscribe button, and after that, you'll see a little bell pop up. Click on that bell so that you get an alert from YouTube when we put out a new video. New Money Path podcast will be up. Please look for it by typing in the Money Path podcast into your iTunes search bar or get it at our website, pathtradingpartners.com. Please subscribe to that as well. Follow us on Twitter, path_trading, and like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Path Trading Partners. And again, please leave a comment down in the comments section or send us an email at support@pathtradingpartners.com if you would like us to discuss something specific. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.